Singapore first, and then to Hong Kong. I must confess that the purpose for my trip was initially shrouded in mystery. I did not want to compromise my mission by even making an oblique reference to it in my last broadcast. My task was to meet with an individual who is intent on acquiring the rights to once again manufacture the Xecuter 3 ModChip. The vision and scope of his interest does not end there, ladies and gentlemen. He has every intention of securing the blessing of Xecuter the Merciful to produce an entire range of formerly discarded technologies. Here is how I came to meet this driven and motivated individual. He apparently saw the earlier Tech Talk Tips episode, which referenced Team Xecuter. He immediately sent me a letter, which read more like an op-ed piece. I directly phoned him and asked that he meet me the next time our paths crossed, to which he agreed. I discovered he planned to attend the tech industry arm wrestling competition I referenced in my special update. The event was hosted by Scott McNeely of Sun Microsystems, a company of which I take a dim view. Nevertheless, when I arrived, a raucous tech crowd was out in full force to see the headline event. John C. Dvorak and Brian Krasanich met center stage for their arm wrestling match. As you recall, the loser was to add one additional consonant to their last name. In fact, the show was a complete farce. It ended in a tie, with neither man able to best his opponent. From my front row seat, it appeared that Mr. Dvorak had an edge, but winked at his foe. My sense is that he might have parlayed his sporting dominance into information in exchange for the draw. Once the match finished, I met my contact near the Sunbucks coffee bar. I recorded the conversation, later receiving his permission to present it here on Tech Talk Tips with a proviso that I mask the audio to protect his identity. Here are several snippets from that dialogue.
I say, speak truth to power, Ms. Cray-Mac. I am mad about mad. That's modding apathy dystopia. It is time to occupy Team Xecuter. The Triple B consumer requires redress, remedy, and recompense.
The Triple B? Is that like the Triple Lindy dive of Thornton Mellon? If not, what is it?
The Triple B. Big Black Box. The original Xbox. Specifically, ModChips for the original Xbox.
Oh, I see. And what is the problem?
We have an IT problem. It's an IT problem on an epic scale.
IT? What does IT have to do with the original Xbox?
The IT to which I am referring is the ivory tower syndrome. Team Xecuter moved with the market. They dropped support for the original Xbox in favor of the 360. Now that Xbox One is the golden child, the corner offices have once again shifted their focus. They have become tone deaf. The decision to discontinue Xecuter 3 ModChips was made in an ivory tower. They took everything associated with the X3, placed it in a wooden crate, and dropped it into the same cavernous warehouse as the Ark of the Covenant from Indiana Jones' Raiders of the Lost Ark, where it collects dust to this day. Case closed, locked away forever with other significant artifacts. Such a waste.
Several questions. Who would possibly care about that legacy technology? If I understand correctly, Team Xecuter has essentially released their final product for the Xbox 360 and have pivoted entirely toward Xbox One mods. Surely you don't expect them to divert key personnel back to a very successful but dated product line. Would that be a prudent use of their resources?
An excellent detail, Ms. Cray-Mac. I concede that point. Your keen market insight serves you well. Team Xecuter should not deviate from their present business plan. They should continue to allocate the entirety of their vast human and financial capital to Xbox One mods. One logical extension, then, is to open source the X3 ModChip.
How would you propose they do this? Presumably you have given it some thought.
Yes, I have begun a new campaign. I call it Free the X3.
Free the X3. Do you legitimately expect to gain any traction in the new tech market or Xbox communities with this campaign?
I have enlisted the help of multiple industry heavy hitters, including Miner Nelson, Benny Huang, Peter Molyneux, and Tom Cook. Additionally, there are more than a dozen prestigious venture capital firms which are salivating at the prospect of backing this operation. We are prepared to face any challenge which industry and the market might bring us.
An interesting development. I was aware that a few aging console fans were still hanging on to their original Xboxes for modding, emulation, and media center enjoyment, but I had no idea they existed in such sufficient numbers to generate the kind of interest you have garnered with the gentleman you mentioned. Are you quite certain they are as committed as you have presented here?
I appreciate your hard-hitting journalistic style, Ms. Cray-Mac. I am not the least bit offended by the slight edge of cynicism which you display. Here are 4 statements which I collected from my previously named contacts. Number 1. Tech companies in general are disintegrating and losing their product focus. They have in many cases abandoned the core products which permitted them to achieve success. A legacy example of this is how Apple Computer essentially killed the Apple II line in favor of Macintosh. This lack of foresight alienated many previously loyal customers. Even Chevrolet had the good sense to maintain the Corvette and Camaro. There is room on the lot for multiple Chevrolet sports cars and multiple ModChips. You can probably guess who made that statement. It was Tom Cook. Here's the second quote. It is unfortunate that the hacking community, which I love, has ceased to care about legacy products. As people, as individuals, as hackers, we need to oppose this trend and continue to do what is right. Open source and free the X3. Well stated, Benny. Ms. Cray-Mac, you read the next one.
Very well. Here it is. Xecuter is headed in the wrong direction. Send them a letter. Grassroots activism may change their mind. Write your politicians. Call Richard Waters, technology editor at the Financial Times. Contact Malsberg, respected tech editor at Wall Street Journal. Continue to support my new friend Alice Cray-Mac of Tech Talk Tips. With our combined efforts, we will make a difference. It is signed Minor Nelson.
Lastly, Team Xecuter is headed the way of button shoes and buggy whips. Their minds are filled with the unfortunate chorus of techno-babble, and they are on the brink of borderline insanity. Beautiful hyperbole from Pete Mullinold.
Those are compelling declarations, sir. Presuming you are successful in your efforts to convince Xecuter to free the X3, what would you do next?
I assure you, Miss Cray-Mac, that I will not cease to apply pressure to Team Xecuter until they relent. I have numerous reputable contacts in Huazhong Bay and Shenzhen, China that are very capable. They stand ready to facilitate remanufacture of the X3 ModChip and other sought-after products for the original Xbox. I would not rely on the gray market in Huazhong Bay, but expect to use top-tier firms in keeping with the Team Xecuter standard of excellence and their stellar market legacy.
You have made a very strong case, sir. Do you have any final comments you want to make to my audience?
Thank you. You have been very gracious. To the exalted leadership of Team Xecuter, free the X3. I am not speaking to the rich in you, nor the poor in you, but to the gamer in you. Gaming is the path of the heart. It should influence everything you do. Please free the X3.
Ladies and gentlemen, I expect some of my listeners will have a contrarian view of my anonymous contact. They might refer to him as the box-dropping man-ape gone wrong thing. Nevertheless, I might have preferred to remain with him for a second Sunbucks latte, but I had to catch a flight to my next assignment. I'm getting a sneak peek at the new Samsung Galaxy T6 phone with its bezel-free display, among other industry-leading options. It's off to Seoul for me. This time I hope to avoid any encounters with Psych and his Gangland-style music vid. Wish me luck. Until next time, this is Alice Cray-Mac. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Tech Talk Tips. Have a great day.